So, welcome to this fourth session now on discrete time Fourier transforms. Now, I think fifth session, and we are trying our level best to interpret what is meaning of discrete time Fourier transform. Unless we focus on this, unless we spend some time, energy and efforts on this, no purpose will be served even though you may pass the examination. So, what is discrete time Fourier transform, that everybody should understand? Yes, this is what is DTFT. So, we were talking about, we have xn and we transform it. We transform it into by DTFT into x omega. So, our focus of discussion is when we get x omega means what? X omega is a periodic function over a period of 2 pi, means having a meaningful existence from minus pi to pi, which is value of range of omega. So, for particular omega there will be given some value of x of omega, and that what value x of omega will have for various omegas, that is the nature of that x omega function. X omega can't be plotted on a graph paper because it is having two components. So, you have to plot real part of x omega and imaginary part of x omega, or angle magnitude x omega and angle x omega. So, by both options you can plot x omega, and that is either Cartesian coordinates, real imaginary, or polar coordinates, that is amplitude and angle. So, amplitude and angle is most of the times preferable. So, a peculiar sequence results into some function of omega, and that function is having some kind of shape in amplitude, some kind of characteristic in phase. But what is the significance of that? What I interpret from that function means, by looking at x omega, what I am looking for? X omega is a function of omega. For various values of omega I get something, what it corresponds to my x, and that is what we are talking about. And in that discussion we had made a claim, or I had made a claim which you are supposed to verify. The claim is that that is what we can say. Let us have, I again try to give a very simple meaningful example. Suppose xn we have, then for every value of xn, for every value of n which is an integer, there is some value of xn. So, if xn is one dimensional, you can plot it as n equal to 0, 1, minus 1, 2, 3, minus 2, minus 3, and so on. And then you can have look at all values of xn. Right now I have taken xn to be one dimensional, means these are the points on horizontal axis, only magnitude. So, you look at it. So, when you look at it, what this graph, that is n on horizontal axis and x of n on vertical axis, what you view the values of the function or values of the sequence at different index value, which is an integer of n. So, you look at it. Now, listen very carefully. Suppose if you have got a magical goggle, what that magical goggle will tell you, will give you, that magical goggle is very, when I say magical, everything is included there. So, when you put that goggle before your eyes, what that goggle will do? That goggle will capture all values of xn for all n's. If it is finite sequence, then after some value it will be 0. If it is infinite, it will have some values. So, the goggle, when you look at xn through the goggle will capture all values of n and will convert it into a function of omega. Only thing is that xn can be one dimensional, xn can be two dimensional. So, if xn is two dimensional, you can say that xrn and xin, these are two different sequences which combine to have xn. That means xr0 and xi0 taken together corresponds to x0. So, it is a point in 2D plane. So, point in 2D plane I can't plot versus n in 2D. So, I have to take two different graphs if x is two dimensional. If x is one dimensional, other dimension, or if x is one dimensional, what does it mean? xrn is this and xin is 0, all 0. That means it is one dimensional. So, a goggle captures that and will show you something like, say, this. This is x omega magnitude. This is omega. Just representative I am plotting. If it is pi, this is not the transform of this. If it is minus pi, then it will repeat again onwards. This is mod x omega. So, x omega is a 2D function, mod x omega, and there will be some angle x omega, phi omega we can also say, and let that be, just I am representing it. So, when you wear that goggle transforms it into this. So, what that corresponds to? So, you should be, now what I wanted to say is, when you look at this at n equal to 1, this is x axis, this is something like 1 we can say. So, at n equal to 1, you find that xn is equal to 1, at n equal to 0, xn is equal to 0.6 and so on. So, by looking at this, you understand everything like that. When you look at this at, say, some value of omega, let us say this, it is having this value. What does it correspond to? What I again repeat, I am trying my level best to ensure that we mean what we say, we mean what we read, we mean what we listen, we mean what we talk. So, at some value of omega, this is the magnitude of x omega, and this is angle. To angle we shall come later. So, what that corresponds to me is a big question, and that correspondence needs to be understood very carefully. So, now that goggle I have, then if you have got inverse goggle, if you put that inverse goggle before your eyes, then that inverse goggle will capture these two and will give you this. So, if you put one goggle followed by another goggle, again you should look this. So, in the transformation process, information is not lost. Only thing is that information is converted in such a form. So, here you get direct sample values. Here what you get? Here you get some value for every omega, but what that value corresponds to, that is what I am trying to insist upon, and I am sure that you will understand it slowly. It may take some time. So, let us not be impatient. So, in that way, so by transforming the discrete sequence into a continuous periodic function of omega, I get various values of that function for different omegas. So, what I am looking for, just like a chromatic filter looks for a particular frequency light in the, what we can say, white light or a light coming from some source, like that, by transformation I am trying to find out, I am in search of some specific component. Police come with search warrant for a particular person, means what? They want to see whether in a group the person in which they are interested is there. So, like that, a given value of omega, the discrete time Fourier transform searches to what extent a rotating point with given value of omega is present in the discrete sequence. So, what I again repeat, that the presumption, when police read some particular spot, they have presumed that the person in which they are interested is substantially probable to be there. So, they have a presumption that yes, they presume that that person will be there. Like that, the discrete time Fourier transformation, I am trying to look the given sequence xn as summation of multiple rotating points. How many multiple? That is infinite, and therefore, I am presuming that xn is equal to summation. This is a presumption. Whether this presumption is valid presumption or there are some limitations for this presumption, is there any need to revise the presumption? All these things are expected to be discussed during our discussion. So, for I is an index from minus m to m. So, I am assuming that the given sequence xn, which is anything as you please, this I am assuming that is the police is expecting the person to be there in the random sample. Like that, I presume that the sequence given by you contains what I mean. That is, in the means I see the sequence given by you, a given sequence. I am intending to find out, or I am sure, or I am claiming that a particular sequence is present in the given sequence. So, given unknown sequence, I am presuming that the given unknown sequence is again sum of some fixed predefined sequences. It is sum of fixed predefined sequences, and again I can say what is that sequence? Sequence is a rotating point on unit circle multiplied by some weight. So, I have presumed now that this xin is ai, that is the radius and initial position, that is the weight, ai e raised to j pi I upon m n. So, e raised, this m is capital M, this e raised to pi I upon m n is a rotating point on unit circle, either in clockwise or in anti-clockwise direction. Now, since I am taking I from minus m to m, I will say that for I is equal to 0, it is a stationary point, that is, it is at 1 0 position on unit circle, always at that position, and there are some points which rotate anti-clockwise and there are complementary points which rotate clockwise. So, these are the rotating points on unit circle and this is the weight. So, when I multiply rotating point on unit circle by a constant ai, this constant ai is not a real constant, it is Ri radius e raised to j phi I, means it is, if Ri is 2 and phi I is pi by 4, then at n equal to 0, this xin, that is xi0, will be a point on, this is unit circle. If this is unit circle, then if Ri is 2 and this is pi by 4, then it is a point on radius of circle, a circle of radius 2 and starting at pi by 4. So, this is xi0. then it will rotate. So, it is not necessarily starting at n equal to 0, it need not necessarily get located or should occupy its place on horizontal axis. So, it is a very bold claim. How you can see it is just like a magic. What is the magician does? You hold some page in your hand or a few pages in your hand, and the magician is able to identify them, means even though he is not knowing, he says that I calculate and I say this must be there. Like this, the sequence is given by you give anything xn, and what I claim? I claim that the sequence given by you is nothing but summation of multiple rotating points on unit circle multiplied by some constants, that is complex constants. So, I am claiming that any given sequence is weighted sum of rotating points rotating at different angular speeds and weighted sum. So, weighted, see here that in weighted sum in an integration, these two are very fundamental things in discrete time and continuous times. So, given sequence is weighted sum of rotating points at multiple speeds. How many rotating points? So, this is 2m plus 1, from minus m to minus 1, from 1 to m and 0. So, can 2m plus 1 points, or can 2m plus 1 components will describe my sequence fully? So, let us elaborate. We will be taking the detailed discussion. So, we will take some example and then we will try to find what are the problems and how these are overcome. So, what it is now? The given sequence xn is summation of subcomponents. So, this is I am presuming that comprised of these predefined subcomponents with angular speeds of zero, that is not rotating, then how many total components are there? 2m plus 1, and what is the angular speed? I pi upon m. So, if m is 100, then the component for I is equal to 0 is component. So, I will write it, I is equal to 0. For that component is not rotating, angular, that is the omega. This is I and this is omega. So, for I is equal to 0, omega is 0. So, it is a stationary point, a stationary sequence, DC value of the sequence. Then for I is equal to 1, it is rotating at an angle of pi by m. At I is equal to 2, it will rotate at an angle of 2 pi by m. For I is equal to 3, it will rotate at an angle at angular speed of 3 pi by m. And similarly, on this side at I is equal to minus 100, it would be minus 100 pi upon m, minus 100 pi upon m. So, what it is going to give me? These are the rotating points. These are rotating points for various angular speeds. So, now listen very carefully and let us try to understand how the things will work. So, at n equal to 0, at n equal to 0, what is going to happen? At n equal to 0, the x 0 will be x I means x minus 100 0 plus x minus 99 0 plus x 0 0 plus x 1 0 up to x 100 0. Similarly, x 1, x 2, but these sequences, these subcomponents are rotating points. These subcomponents are rotating points. And how do they rotate? They rotate at an angle which is pi upon 100, pi upon 2 pi upon 100, 3 pi upon 100, and on this side negative side. So, after 100, when I complete n from 0 to 100, so what is going to happen? The pi by m, which is m is 100 here. So, m is 100, m is 100. Listen very carefully. I am aware that it is not so easy. It is not so easy. The sequence x1n, the sequence x1n is what? Sequence x1n is a1, which is a multiplier, e raised to j pi upon 100n, j pi upon 100n. Xn is equal to a1, listen very carefully, a1 e raised to j pi upon y 100, because m is 100 n. So, what is going to happen? For n equal to 0, it will be 0. For n equal to 100, what is going to happen? For n equal to 100, it would be pi e raised to j pi. For n equal to 200, it would be e raised to j 2 pi, e raised to j, listen very carefully now, for n equal to 0, so what is x10? x10 is a1, why? Because for n equal to 0, this would be 0, this 0, this is 1. What is x1? 1, it is a1 e raised to j pi by 100. So, like this it will continue. Then for x1 200 is equal to a1 e raised to j 200 pi upon, e raised to j just pi into 200, pi upon 100 into n, this is n was 1, this n is 200. So, that is equal to a1 e raised to j 2 pi. So, x1 200 is a1 e raised to j 2 pi, that is a1. So, what is going to happen is that after n equal to, when this index becomes 200, the value of the x1 subcomponent will be same as that for n equal to 0. So, what will happen is, or remember, it is something which I started with a very revolutionary claim, and now I am finding that it is backfiring on me. What was the me means we are presuming something, we are trying to postulate something, and something is not working upon. So there is a need to rework, and what is that is the crux of this discussion. So what I am trying to do? I am trying, it is my claim, a very bold claim I am doing, and even though I find that there is some shortfall, I will make that shortfall. So the given sequence xn, I am claiming that the given sequence by u, see it is bold claim, given sequence by u is weighted sum of sequences which I know, which I say. Given sequence, I again look at the way of explanation. Given sequence by u is this xin, each xin actually is, what is each xin? Each xin is ai e raised to j I pi upon m into n. So the sequence given by u is weighted sum of multiple rotating points which I am specifying. So it is it is a magic, means just like a magician asks, you take some number in your mind, then you take some number, and after some time the magician does something and tells, yes, this was number took in mind by you, and you get shocked how the magician came to know. Just like that, a given sequence by you give some sequence, and I say that the sequence given by you, I will be able to write it as summation of sequences known by me just by some weights. How it is possible? Now there is a problem. The problem is that the sequences which I take are rotating points, and the rotating points rotating at a speed which is I pi upon m, where I is an integer. When these are I pi upon m, where I is an integer, it is integral dividend of pi. So I upon m. So an angle I upon m, or the angular speed I upon m, after 2m samples is going to come to the same position again and again. So there is a fundamental defeat now. All these sequences are repetitive sequences, because this is a rotating point and this is rotating at a speed which is now, what is the speed? Focus on omega. Let us work very hard. Focus on omega. What is this omega? This omega is, I is integer, m is integer. I is integer, m is integer. So this angle is an integral dividend of m. This pi by m is there. So as pi by m is there, and then pi by m multiplied by something. So pi by 2, we can start with m equal to 1. So there are 3 samples. So pi, m equal to 2, m equal to 3, m equal to 4. So in any case, pi by 4, pi by 5, pi by 6, the different angular speeds are like this, pi by 100, pi by 1000, and because they are integral dividends of pi, they are going to repeat after that number. So if I take m is equal to 1000, then for I is equal to 1, the angle is pi upon 1000. So for I equal to 2000, if ith component will be having j pi upon 1000 into n, that is the first for n equal to 1. So, it would be j, if I am taking I equal to, that is the first sub component for I equal to 1, it would be e raised to j pi upon 1000 n. Then if I take n equal to 1, it will be e raised to j pi upon 1000, and if I take n as 2000 to 1, so it would be e j pi into 2000 to 1 upon 1000. This I can write as e raised to j pi into bracket. Listen very carefully, I am simplifying to a fullest extent, upon 1000. That corresponds to e raised to j 2 e raised to j 2 pi plus pi upon 1000. So, for n equal to 1, it was e raised to j pi upon 1000, and for this e raised to j 2 pi upon 1000, e raised to j 2 pi e raised to j into bracket 2 pi plus this is e raised to j 2 pi into e raised to j pi by 1000. E raised to j 2 pi is 1, so it is same. So, these sequences are repetitive sequences, periodic sequences, and means it is just like you will say that what foolish claim I am making with a very limited capacity. I am trying to appear in say Olympiad. I am not competent, I am not equipped, and I am trying to make a very bold claim that what I am saying, let there be any sequence which you wish. This I am saying that it is summation of sequences which I know. The sequence given by you is summation of weighted sum of sequences which I know. But what is the problem? The problem is that all sequences which I know are periodic. They repeat after 2m. They repeat after 2m samples. And you say that I will, then now you want to tease me. You want to tease me. So, what is the logic? You want to disprove my claim. You want to disprove my claim. How will you disproving my claim? Now you understood my weak point. What is my weak point? Weak point in my claim is that the sequence, I am trying to represent sequence given by you as weighted sum of sequences known by me. I am trying to represent, I am claiming that I will be able to represent the sequence given by you as weighted sum of sequences known by me. So, I will be just telling the weights. The problem is that all sequences known by me are periodic, they repeat. Then you know this weak point, then what you will use? Okay, then you see, now there are two ways. If you are, suppose that some kind of debating is there. So, if you are a very impatient debater, then if you are a very impatient debater, in debate you try to score a point by arguing at the first instance, and sometimes what happens is that you may fail. So, if you are a seasoned arguer, what you do? Suppose I have come to you, yes, I say that you give me the sequence xn, and I will show you that whatever sequence you give, I will be able to represent it as summation of sequences known by me. Now you are knowing my weak point. Then if you are impatient debater, no, you will say no, you can't do that, it's impossible, this is because of this. But if you are a seasoned debater, you know my weak point, then what will you say? Okay, yes, it's very fine, it's a very new tool you have developed. I am sure that this tool will be useful for many purposes, and let us now explore how this tool works. So, what you will do, you will give me a simple sequence to convert, to transform, and I will find that I can't do that. What is that sequence? What is my weak point? My weak point is that all sequences which are my components are periodic, they repeat after some time. So, you will give me a simple exam, very simple sequence which will never repeat. So, you will give me a sequence, yes, you will say yes, you have done very good job, but tell me how you will be converting the simple sequence as, let us say, 1 and 2, my sequence is over. So, you will, if you are a seasoned debater, you will say yes, please give me, I want to also verify, I am very, you will say it is a very good invention seems to be made by you, I am very much what we can say surprised, and it's very pleasing experience for me, I am very much enthusiastic to know how it works. So, please tell me, please transform this sequence which I am giving it to you, 1 and 2, and this is 0. So, what is my sequence? The sequence given, I write it at the top, the sequence given is x n equal to 1 comma 2. The sequence, and this is index 0, this is n and 0 elsewhere. So, the sequence is n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to minus 1, n equal to minus 2, n equal to minus 3. The sequence is 1 and 2. This is a sequence. This is the axis, y axis, this is value 1, this is value 2. So, just I will do it with some colors, this is the, so as to identify 1 and 2 and 0, all zeros, everywhere else it is zeros. So, the sequence will never repeat. The given sequence by you to me is a non-repetitive or called as aperiodic sequence. This is a periodic sequence. So, when this is a periodic sequence, now I find that I am becoming handicapped, I get confused. Why I get confused? Because whatever claim I make, how many components I try to find out, all my components will be periodic, means they will repeat after 2m samples, and this sequence never repeats. So, the sequence means the sum of components which I claim to be your sequence will always fail, because after some samples the sum, each subcomponent which I am claiming is going to repeat, and as each subcomponent repeats, their sum is bound to repeat. So, there is a fundamental failure from my end. The fundamental failure is, since each of the subcomponent which I claim that all subcomponents add to your signal, since each of the subcomponent is going to repeat, sum is going to repeat. So, the sequence given by you is aperiodic, non-repetitive, and some of my subcomponents repeat. So, you will say, please tell me now whether your subcomponents are periodic or aperiodic. Then I become very much depressed. Sorry sir, I say that my all subcomponents are periodic, therefore they will repeat after some period, and since your sequence given by you is aperiodic, naturally my claim tests, my claim fails this fundamental test, and so I am helpless. This is the situation. Now, you go back, you get defeated, you go back home, and when you go back home and then start reworking, where you may go for a childhood competition, that in childhood competition you have a logic that you claim that no, I am rich, you must have played some such argued such funny way, we will change the medium of instruction to give that theme. तर शाळेमध्ये तुम्ही जेव्हा चर्चा करता तेव्हा नाही माझे वडील खूप श्रीमंत आहेत, आमच्याकडे इतके पैसे आहेत, एक म्हणजे माझ्याकडे ₹1,00,000 आहेत, मग दुसरा म्हणतो माझ्याकडे 5 लाख आहेत, दुसरा म्हणतो नाही माझ्याकडे 10 आहेत, मग त्यातलाही हुशार असतो, तो म्हणतो तुझ्याकडे जितके आहेत त्यापेक्षा एक माझ्याकडे जास्त आहे. सो दी smart person says, yes, my father is richer, because then you say, how much money he has got? Then he says that he is having money more than ₹1 than your father has got. So this is what we can say, that you are increasing, and I say that I am one more beyond you. So what, you go home and you will say, yes, what is there? Anyway, when I am claiming what is the fundamental thing of my predefined sequence, e raised to I pi upon m n. So my component is e raised to I pi upon m n. This is a rotating point, ith component. Ith component is a rotating point at this angular speed, and this angular speed is integral dividend of pi, and therefore naturally after 2m samples it is going to repeat. And what you want, what mischief you have played, you have given me a sequence which never repeats. Then I will try to satisfy you. It is just like making impossible by some possibilities. This is a very dense logic discussion. So your sequence is aperiodic, it never repeats. So never repeats can also be interpreted that it repeats after infinite samples, or my sequences, my subcomponents are repeating. They are repeating with what period? After how much samples they repeat? They repeat after 2m samples. So if I make m equal to infinity, if I make m equal to infinity, in that case my subcomponents will never repeat, or they will repeat after infinite samples. So now I come back tomorrow to you and say, yes, I have got those subcomponents for summation as, so I can claim that this xn is equal to summation xi n, which is equal to summation ai e raised to j I pi upon m n for I is equal to m minus m to m as m tends to infinity, as m tends to infinity. So this is now something which needs to be perceived, it can't be distinctly shown. If you go at a deeper level, at a very preliminary level, everything you can see on the plane of the whiteboard, but something is to be can only be seen on your intellectual mind plane, and there is no way, at least today. Tomorrow means few centuries back nobody would have thought of ECG, EEG like that. After a few years, what you have in your mind, that can be some kind of camera, some kind of tools will be there which will be able to visualize the image of particular that is DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform. By listening discrete time Fourier transform, what kind of impression is imprinted on your mental plane can also be modeled, can also be postulated, maybe after a few centuries. But as of today, we can't. So, it is not possible for me to show what image I carry about DTFT, but I am trying to build that image through my words. These words are getting some impact on your minds, and based on some answers which I seek from you, I am trying, see it is, I have some image of DTFT on my mental plane. I can't transmit it as it is to your mental plane just like copy paste. So, I am explaining something, creating some impression, presuming that similar image is getting created on your mind plane. To verify that, the problem is so severe that even I cannot see the image of DTFT on my intellectual plane or my mental plane. It is an invisible image which I can perceive but I can't see. If I could have seen, I could have drawn and I could have shown it to you. That I can't do. So, I perceive the image of DTFT on my mind plane. I describe, since I only perceive, I can't see, I can show it to you. Then I describe that image. After describing that image, I expect you to imprint that image on your mind plane. Then after you imprint that image on your mind plane, even you can't see that. So, the question of me seeing that it does not arise. Means I neither anybody can see the perception of DTFT on individual's mental plane, either on his or on others. So, something which I perceive, I describe, I expect that you should also perceive same thing, and whether you perceive same thing or not, that I can verify through some questions, and then I can see how far you are there than my expectations. So, what I conclude on this aspect now, the session will continue in the next lecture also, because it's, see, this is something in today's age a classroom is expected to discuss this thing. Otherwise, there is you are having multiple things now, Wikipedia is there, Google is there, then multiple online bombardment is there, multiple reading material is there, multiple PPTs are there. So, all these things cannot interpret, therefore, we are trying our level best. So, in the classroom now, classroom 4 decades back was just for giving information which was otherwise not available. Copy paste was not so easy, so it was to be written down in the classroom. Now, there is no need to write down everything which I write on the blackboard, on the whiteboard, because it is available to you any time. So, what I claim now is that, so this is something I am just what I am doing is not, it's not called as cheating, but I am mischievous smart fellow. Now, what I claim, yes, sequence given by you is summation of sequences it's integer, I is an integer, or we can say m only. So, by m you perceive an integer, by m, capital M, you perceive an integer, and m is tending to infinity. So, what you had in the debate you smartly try to defeat me by saying that now you show me how the simple sequence 1 and 2 can be expressed as summation of multiple subcomponents which are predefined, which are rotating points. Then I got puzzled, I got defeated because I found that it is repetitive, it will repeat and your sequence does not repeat. So, I said that yes, I can represent a sequence given by you by summation of infinite subcomponents. Means how you tried to play with me, you tried to shut my mouth that I am unable to answer, but I also happen to be smarter. What I say? Yes, the sequence given by you is weighted sum of multiple subsequences, but how many? Infinite subsequences. Then you tell me, start telling me what those are. So, I will say that in my lifetime I can't explain that because these are infinite. So, just like the given sequence by you is expressed as sum of infinite sequences, sum of sum means, and what these sequences are? They are rotating points. So, any given, listen this is what DTFT is, any given sequence may it be of infinite length or finite length, repetitive or non-repetitive, any given sequence can be expressed as summation of multiple sequences, each of them is a rotating point on some circle of a specific radius and a specific starting point. So, the moment at which I said that infinite subcomponents, it is that I made a very mischievous claim that I am unable that way, but I say that I am able also. Means I say that the thing given by you, the unknown thing to me, is weighted sum of infinite known things. So, infinite is very important, and this is something which is somewhat vague. So, what we can say that, and that we go in next, that is discrete Fourier transform. So, the discrete time Fourier transform attempts to express the discrete sequence as summation of multiple rotating points, but infinite rotating points, and these are the weights, these are the weights. So, now we go for reverse question. When I find DTFT x omega, when I find x omega, what does that correspond to? A particular value of, for given omega, a particular value of x omega, what is that significance? What is significance of x omega for a particular value? So, that we will discuss by taking again a simple example, and this is the simple example. We can either take of an impulse, but we will not take that, we will take a very interesting example. Now, values I will change. X n is, I will make symmetric, there is no need, but I will make symmetric. So, x n is equal to 1, 1 and 1, and this is 0. So, what it is? What is the sequence? Sequence is again very simple. At n equal to 0, at n equal to 1, at n equal to minus 1, n equal to 2, n equal to minus 2, n equal to 3, n equal to minus 3, this is 1, this is 1. I would have taken some different also, but let it be. So, a given sequence is at 0 it is 1, at minus 1 it is 1, at 1 it is 1 and 0 elsewhere. So, these are the points 1, 1, 1 and 0 elsewhere. So, I will find its DTFT. I will find its DTFT by given formula, and then I will try to interpret DTFT by x omega. I will try to explain what that means, just like your social index based on your social science subject summation indicates something like that. A particular value of x omega for given omega will mean something. So, what is this is xn? What is x omega? More simple. The summation is not required, but we write the formula n equal to minus infinity to infinity xn e raised to minus j omega n. What it is simple here, n equal to minus 1 to 1 and xn is equal to 1. So, or I can write 3 terms separately, no need of summation. So, for n equal to minus 1, what it is? 1 into e raised to minus j omega minus 1 plus 1 into e raised to minus j omega. I am writing everything simple, plus 1 e raised to minus j omega 1. So, what is the sequence? What is the signal now? E raised to minus j omega plus this is 1 plus it is minus plus it is raised to minus j omega. E raised to plus j omega plus 1 minus e raised to j omega. So, what it is now? 1 is as it is, e raised to j omega plus e raised to minus j omega is what? Is 2 cos omega. It is 2 cos omega. Or to make it somewhat simpler, no problem, it is also, I will make this a half. I will make these 2 as half. So, these 2 as half, So, this is half, this is half. So, this is half, just to have somewhat simpler analysis. So, it is half. So, 1 plus half into bracket e raised to j omega plus e raised to minus j omega. So, that is 1 plus half 2 cos omega, 1 plus cos omega. So, discrete time, forget everything, this you can calculate, this is now junior college level problem. So, this is the sequence and this is its DTFT. X omega is equal to 1 plus cos omega, and now you must have observed a very interesting thing, that is in DTFT there is no imaginary term. There is no imaginary term in the DTFT because of a particular symmetry. We will discuss it later on. So, x omega you can plot it directly because it is only magnitude, no imaginary component. So, phase is 0 and x omega is magnitude. So, this you can plot, x omega you can plot. How x omega will look like? So, this is not required. So, this is this is the plot of xn, and now below this is xn plot, this is plot of xn, and now here I am plotting x omega. How x omega will look like? Omega is meaningful from minus pi to pi. It is meaningful only because after that it is going to repeat. So at omega equal to 0, what will be there? At omega, what is x omega? 1 plus cos omega. So at omega equal to 0, cos omega is 1. At omega equal to 0, cos omega is 1. So 1 plus cos omega is 2. 1. So at omega equal to 0, x omega will be 2. At omega equal to, when cos omega will be 0, cos omega will be 0 when omega is pi by 2. So it will, at omega, I will give some more space so that this be pi by 2 minus pi by 2 minus pi plus pi. So at omega equal to pi by 2, cos omega is 0, so x omega will be 1, and at omega equal to pi, this would be 1 plus cos omega, cos pi is minus 1, so 1 plus cos omega will be 0. So it is cos omega curve in which plus 1 is added. It is cos omega curve in which plus 1 is added. So it would be a curve like at pi by 4, what it would be, you can calculate it later on. So it would be a curve like this. It is 1 here, it is 1 here at pi by 2. It is 1 plus, so this is cos omega. If you clip it, if you raise this here, it is cos omega curve. So this is 1 plus cos omega. Now my big question, value of x omega at omega is given by this curve. So value of x omega at omega equal to 0 is 2. Value of x omega at omega equal to pi by 3, what is the situation? At pi by 3, at pi by 3, at pi by 4, at pi by means pi by 3, pi by 4, pi by 6. So we can have various things. Pi by 3 is 60, pi by 4 is 45, pi by 6 is 30. At 30 it will be something, at 60 it will be something. So what is cos 60? Cos 60 is half. So it would be 1.5, it would be something like 1 by root 2, this 1 will come out, this will be root 3 by 2. So at omega equal to 0, x omega is 2, at omega equal to pi by 2, x omega is 1, and so on. So my question is, what is meaning of this? What is in interpretation? I change the meaning of instruction. Half 1 2, x minus 1 half, x1 1 and x minus 1 half, x0 1 and x1 half. So half 1 half या सिक्वेन्सचा DTFT 1 प्लस कॉस ओमेगा आहे. म्हणजे 1 प्लस कॉस ओमेगा म्हणजे वेगवेगळ्या ओमेगा वेगवेगळे व्हॅल्यू येतात. ओमेगा इक्वल टू 0 ला 2 येतं, ओमेगा इक्वल टू पाय बाय 2 ला 1 येतो, ओमेगा इक्वल टू पाय ला 0 येतो, ओमेगा इक्वल टू पाय बाय 3 ला 1.5 येतो. वेगवेगळ्या ओमेगाला दिलेल्या फंक्शन प्रमाणे म्हणजे ह्या सिक्वेन्सचा DTFT 1 प्लस कॉस ओमेगा आहे. म्हणजे DTFT कडे बघितल्यानंतर मला काय कळतं, हाऊ आय कॅन इंटरप्रिट धिस DTFT टू लुक ॲट द sequence points, how the sequence points embed themselves to have this DTFT, and how I can get back the actual sequence from this DTFT by my intuition. So this I think very much exhaustive. This we shall continue tomorrow. I think it is too much dose today. Thank you.